Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Manitowoc Garage. This week we're going to talk about Tele operation on the new TMS9000-2. The last mode of telescope operation that I'd like to talk about is emergency mode. Emergency mode is the red cross looking diagram on the front page of our operating display. We select this icon and it's asking to put the code in. The code is HELP, which is spelled out directly underneath the spin box. By spelling HELP and confirming the check, this will enter us into emergency mode. The other boxes, as shown above, the code 2673 would be entered into a code generator that you would use to access extended emergency mode in the event that we'd have loss of telecylinder module or breakage of the intercommunication cable reel. To the right is the system counter, in which gives you that set amount of time to generate this into the code generator and place the code back into where the help box is now at. If entering into extended by spinning counterclockwise with the jog dial, the alphabetical boxes will turn into numerical fields. We're going to enter into emergency mode, and here's our display. Of course, in the upper right hand corner is the allotted amount of time that we have to run an emergency operation. We have two reels now. The top reel is the precision length reel that we've seen on the prior telescoping screens. The lower reading is off the potentiometer on the inner drum. This reading has nothing to do with the telescoping logic of Grove lock. We simply allow you to view this pot in emergency mode in the event loss of the precision length reel. Same F1, F2, F3 commands, similar to the ECOS world. Unlock boom section on top, unlock telescope cylinder on the bottom, and lock whatever is unlocked in the middle. On the service screen itself, we have a listing of 8 proximity switches. They're aligned in order in which they actually are inside of the boom. We have 2110, 11, and 12 representing the flags on top of the actuator cylinder. We have 2117, 16, and 18 representing the in-position switches. Slightly different than the hydraulic interlock machines of CCS twin lock cranes and ECOS cranes. The mechanical pinning head design works slightly different. True in position is 17 and 16 off with 18 on. And at the very bottom we have 14 and 15 that also monitor in conjunction with 2112, meaning that the telescope cylinder pins have been retracted or unlocked. We're going to unlock the telescope cylinder, and we can see that now 14, 15, and 12 are active. 17 also come on because when we throwed the pressure at the pinning head, the cylinder slightly moved a small amount. We can also see now that 17 is on, which is representing too low. We have a coordinating arrow with this telling us to get in a true in-position foot section, you would need to scope out a small amount. I'll bump the joystick to the extend side. We can now see the switch went out and the arrow changed from telling me to go out to the arrow is now pointing straight up at the boom section, showing that I'm aligned and only 18 is on. We will relock the telescope cylinder. We can see we are locked up now with 2111 and 2118. One of the things I want to point out is if we pan to the RCL display, even though we were inside of emergency mode running the crane, it still shows tele configuration. We've not lost status. However, slight confusion based off this picture versus the ODM. We know when we went into emergency mode, the telescope cylinder is locked to T5. However, the RDM is now telling us the cylinder is in T1. This is the expected position for the cylinder to be in while in emergency mode. For training purposes, I'm going to leave the telescope cylinder pinned in T5 at 1013 millimeters with the boom fully retracted. And the minute we exit emergency mode, we're going to get an error code and we are going to lose telescope status. So I am exiting emergency mode now, and we can see instantly that now our telescope status is gone. If we look at our operating display, we see we now have an error code. We can view our error code by scrolling the jog dial and selecting the error code field. By depressing the bottom right button on the display, note the jog dial will not work for this. The onboard error code viewer will populate on the display. If we zoom in here, we're going to say that it says pin boom pinning software. The boom section is not engaged with the parent section for an expected amount of time. CCM10 is the module that is complaining, and the Grove Lock update has not been performed. If we read the description at the bottom, it clearly states, on entering an automatic type mode from the emergency mode, the telecylinder precision length sensor value was not in an expected range to be pinned to the default boom section or pin location, normally T1 at 0%. So in layman terms, what this means is if in emergency mode and exiting emergency mode with the cylinder pinned to any other section other than T1, this error code is going to occur and you will be forced to reset telescope status. This is a good time for us to walk through setting telescope status. To set status, we will go to the question mark icon and we will spell the code, which is lost. Manually go across each section, telling the machine where each section is located in relation to the pinning pockets, 0, 50, 92, or 100. If a section is not in a known pinning condition, such as 0, 50, 92, or 100, the unlock icon must be used to represent that section. The unlock icon has nothing to do with the telescope cylinder. It is the boom section is not locked to either 0, 50, 92, or 100. We know that the cylinder is locked and we are fully retracted. So we select our OK icon, and the easiest way to tell if telescope status has taken is when I press OK on the ODM, I get the check mark, and corresponding with that, on the RDM, the question marks have now went away, and we have returned to 0% of all sections, and T5 is green, representing that the telescope cylinder is connected to T5. On the ODM, if we return back to the automated modes, we can see that everything is 0 and everything is happy. If we hit the OK icon, Grove Lock appears back in the normal working operation. We're going to hit retract, relock the boom section. It's always good practice when working on the machine or working with the machine. We have a valid error code, and it was telling us that we exited emergency mode without the telescope cylinder being pinned to T1. The control system does not like this. So we reset tele status. At this point in time, we can now go in and clear this error. By highlighting the error and depressing down on the jog dial, the 0 of 0 will now appear, and all error code fields have been cleared. We're going to do the same thing by going into emergency mode. And we're going to unlock the cylinder once again. We can now see the switch state has changed on our proximity switches, and the telescope cylinder is now unlocked. We're going to retract the cylinder to 0 millimeters, which is T1, and we can see the different foot sections as we pass through them. The proximity switches coming on and off. Our direction and position, arrow, too high, too low, too high, too low. So we slightly overshot 0. So we can see that the tele cylinder is now locked in T1 at -1 millimeter. The other thing is not such a big deal with Grove Lock is the precision length reel has roughly a plus or minus 3 or 4 millimeter tolerance because of the control system and how it works. Length parameters are not so precise now. In fact, they all work off default numbers from an actual laid out mechanical boom structure. So I wanted to show the difference here by coming out of emergency mode now where Grove Lock expects it to be with the telescope cylinder. So remember, our error said that we had lost telescope status because during exiting emergency mode we were not in the parent section of typical emergency operation, which is T1. So we're going to exit out of emergency mode, and we can see that we did not lose telescope status. Everything is fine. And if we would enter into automated tele mode, we could see that we could just pre-select whatever boom configuration that we would like, and the control system would be happy with this. Told Grove Lock we want T5 at 50. Of course, automated dots are there, and we're pulling the cylinder pins from T1. It will automatically connect to T5. He unlocks the section for us as well, assuming that since we wanted the cylinder in T5 that we want to work with T5 based off of our original request. We're going to hit the quick retract command, which will tell Rogue Lock to relock the boom section. Thanks for watching this episode of Manitowoc Garage, and as always, stay tuned to new episodes being published on the website.